Hello friends, I am Dr. Sutar Creativity, Associate Professor from Sinjini College of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Department of Pharmacognosy. Uh, Friend, today we are going to see a subject pharmacognosy and phytochemistry second. Okay, so in this subject we are going to study a topic that is extraction. Till now we are going to see what is extraction. You have heard the word many a times extraction, extraction, extraction. Okay, now what is that one extraction? In detail, what are their types? Okay, how the extraction process is carried out? What is the mechanism of extraction? How many type of the extractions are there? What are the different methods are there? In detail, we are going to see step by step. So, firstly, we are going to see what is extraction. Extraction is nothing but a process is there in which what are the soluble active chemical components are there that are to be separated from the insoluble residue by using solvent with or without heating. So in case of the extraction process, what are the loose materials are there, flower materials are there, root, bark, stem, flower, seed, whatever it may be. These contain the plant parts, and in that one plant part, active chemical components are there that are present. So we are requiring the active chemical component. So we are going to separate that one active chemical component when we are going to dip that one in a particular solvent, where in that solvent, what the dissolved chemical components are there that is to be released in that one particular solvent. When we are going to filter this one, they are to be separated, and on the filter paper, the residue is there is to be obtained. So in this one, we are going to separate the active chemical components. Okay, just see by in a diagrammatic presentation. So for example, this is the neem leaves where the green colored spots are there which are to be observed. Suppose these are the active chemical components. They are to be present inside the leaves. Okay. For your visualization, I am showing on the leaves. If you want to separate this one from the leaves, then you have to take a one beaker. In that beaker, you have to be transfer these leaves. Okay. And in that, you are going to add a solvent. Okay. So this one solvent that you have to be added, keep it for few hours. Okay, in about 24 hours. After that, you have to be observed that these active chemical components from the leaves, they are to be separated. They have to be comes into the solvent. And then when you are going to be keep this one leaf outside, okay. So in beaker, you are getting that one active chemical component. So these are nothing but the extracts are there. Okay. So in case of this one, what is the leaves or the solvent? Okay, what is the solvent which are going to use for the extraction purpose, that is known as a brainstem. After extraction process, what is the extract you are getting, that is known as a micella, and what is the leaf which is to be left, or we can see that residue which is to be left after extraction, that is known as mark. Okay, so this is the simple extraction process. So what is the mechanism of extraction? Many a time such questions are asked. Explain the mechanism of extraction. So same way, just we are going to take a leaf, powder this one leaf, okay, into the smaller particle. Let's we consider a single particle, okay. So this is the single particle that we have to be consider in extraction, okay. So in a beaker, you have to take this one single particle, add sufficient quantity of the solvent. So what happens after some time when you have to be keep this one particular powder in that one solvent? Just see, this is the one part drop is there. This is the one solvent that is passes through this one pore. These are the pores. Suppose this is the particle is there should be present, that it should be deep in the solvent. These particles having the small pores on this side. So what is these are the outside? These are nothing but the liquid droplets are there, or we can say that the solvent droplets are there. These solvent droplets are there that are to be passes into the particle. Okay. So this is the one particle that is goes inside, that causes the dissolution of the active chemical component, and that she passes through the outside. So in this way, what is the active chemical component which is be present inside the particle size that is be comes out into the solute, okay, in the solvent. This solute comes in the solvent. Let us consider this is the second one particle when that is passes through the liquid. So that droplet is there should be entered. Again, I show you here that droplet is there should be passes. Okay, that causes the dissolution of the active chemical component, and this dissolved active chemical component that should be comes outside. Now this is the third one. Water droplet is there that should comes here and that should pass it through this one. Okay. Now just see here. Okay, and that is should passes outside. In this way, all the active chemical components from the powder material, we can see that residue that is becomes outside. Just see here, the as you are going to add some additional quantity of the powder, these are the active chemical components are there that are to be comes outside of the cell. Okay, so when you're going to be filter, you are getting the dissolved active chemical component. So this is the simple mechanism of the extraction. Okay. So what are the different factors are there that are affecting on the rate of the extraction? So the particle size, as we have observed that if larger the particle size is lesser is the extraction. We are going to be convert that one particular large material, large size material into the smaller particle size, the rate of the extraction is increased. So particle size is inversely proportional to the rate of extraction. Smaller is the particle size, larger is the rate of extraction. Second one is the temperature. As up to the certain limit, we are going to increase the temperature of the solvent, the penetration power of the solvent is increased. And because of which the extraction of the active chemical component is maximum in the process. Third one particle is the factor is the mixture ratio, that is the solute and the solvent. So what is the solute is there? Dissolved chemical component or the powder material is there. The free volume of that one powder material you are going to add solvent. How much? Free volume. For example, you are taking a powder near about 20 ml. Then how much quantity of the solvent you are going to add? 60 ml solvent is there, it should be required. So likewise, the proportion is there that it should be there. Means what is the solvent which should be used for the extraction, that must be a sufficient high quantity. Because of the passive diffusion, the extraction process is to be carried out. That is, passive diffusion is nothing but the transfer of the molecule from the higher concentration to the smaller concentration. Okay. Next one is the surface area. If larger is the surface area, is the maximum is the extraction. So, for example, if you are going to take a particle, the large size material, and keep in a solvent, whereas the same quantity of the material you have to be take and convert that one power into the powder form and that immerse into a solvent, the rate of extraction is more in case of the powder material because larger is the surface area. So the surface area is directly proportional to the rate of extraction. Surface area is maximum, the rate of extraction is maximum. Next one is the nature of the material. So it is not like that each and every one material is same. Somewhere the plant material which shows the active chemical component in the different part of the plant. So these parts may be hard one or the soft one. So if the part is a harder one, so it's very difficult for the extraction. So in that case, the rate of extraction is less. Whereas some of the leafy materials are there, or some of the soft materials are there, fibers materials are there that are soft ones. So in this case, the rate of extraction is high. Okay. Then the type of the solvent. So mostly the polar as well as the non-polar solvent that we are going to be utilized for the extraction purpose. So what type of the active chemical component you are required depends upon the solvent, the active chemical components are there that is to be extracted. So type of the solvent is also necessary or is also affecting on the rate of the extraction. Okay. Next one is the atmospheric pressure. If you are going to apply a higher atmospheric pressure on the liquid, so the rate of the extraction is less. If the atmospheric pressure is less, the rate of the extraction is fast. If we are going to reduce the atmospheric pressure by applying a vacuum, in that case, the rate of the extraction is high. Next one is the pH value. pH value is also going to be affect on the rate of extraction. So in some case that is directly proportional, whereas in some case that is inversely proportional to the rate of extraction. Depends upon the nature of the active chemical components is there. Next one is the lipophilicity, and the next one is the diffusion from the insoluble material. So that is what is the correlation of the active chemical components and the insoluble material. So what is the attachment of these ones are there, that depends on that the diffusivity of the insoluble material, or the we can say that the active chemical components from that one particular material, it should be depends on the extraction. Okay. So next one is the process of extraction. How the process of extraction is there should be offered. So first you are going to collect that one particular drug material which is to be there, which is to be utilized for the extraction purpose. Then authentication of that one particular drug material is there is to be carried out. Authentication means whether the drug material is correct or wrong. That we are going to be checked from the botanist or the head of the department of the botany. Okay. Then the drying process is there should be carried out. The drying process is there should be carried out either by the shade drying method or the sun drying method. So the drug material which is light is not affected by the light or heat, so that is to be dry by utilizing sun. Whereas if the volatile or containing drug materials are there, that are to be dry in a shade. Okay. So these are the two methods of the drying are there. Next one is there, that is a size reduction. By a suitable grinder, we are going to be convert larger size material into the smaller size material, and then we have to be sent for the extraction by utilizing a suitable solvent. Depends upon the chemical components which you want to isolate. Okay, so there are the solvents are there. There are the two type of the solvents are there. One is a polar solvent and another one is a non-polar solvent. Non-polar solvent which includes example chloroform, benzene, toluene, xylene. Likewise, these are the examples. Okay. Now the next one is the polar solvents such as the water, alcohol, methanol. These are the polar solvents. Okay. Types of the extraction. There are the two types of the extraction process are there. One is a traditional method from the ancient time, the method which should be utilized for the extraction purpose, that is known as a traditional method of extraction. Next one is the modern method of extraction, that is the latest technology which is to be utilized for the extraction process. So in that case, it includes infusion, decoction, maceration, percolation. These are the traditional methods are there. And one more, digestion is also there in case of the traditional method of the extraction. Here, modern method of extractions are there, that is oxide extraction, counter current extraction, microwave assisted extraction, ultrasound extraction, supercritical fluid extraction, and froth flotation technique. Likewise, these are the some of the types, or we can say that the extraction methods are there, traditional methods and the modern methods. Now let us we see one method, that is a infusion. In case of the infusion, just in case of the COVID period, you have prepared the different type of the kadas at the home. So just we are going to soak that one particular powder material overnight in a water, and on the second day we are going to be filter and utilize it. So for example, this is the cumin powder is there, that you have to be take, pour this one cumin powder into the water. Okay, cold water is there, soak it overnight. Okay, soak it overnight, then stir it and keep it for few minutes to the 12 hours. This is the time period. After that one, you are going to filter your cold infusion at the supernatant you are getting, and the residue is to be settled at the bottom. side. Filter this one. After filtration, what is the liquid you are getting? Cold infusion you are getting. Okay. So this cumin powder is utilized as a digestive for the neonatal children where they are not going to provide or give some drugs. In that case, first step, the infusions are there that it is prepared at home and they are to be utilized. Second one is there that is a hot infusion. So in this case, what is the drug materials are there that is not to be soaked in a cold water, but on this drug material we are going to add a hot water. Okay. So in this case, you are going to take a licorice powder, place this one licorice powder in a hot water. You are going to add hot water in the beaker which containing the licorice powder. Okay. After that, keep it for few minutes, near about 15 to 20 minutes is the sufficient time. Okay. So in that case, you are getting the hot infusion and the residue is settled at the bottom side. Filter this one. You are getting the hot infusion. Mostly the green tea is to be prepared by this one particular technique. Okay. At home, these drugs are there that are to be prepared. Now the next one is there, that is a decoction. In case of the decoction, just we are going to take a tea powder, we are going to prepare the every day. We are going to use such type of the decoction. You already you are going to take a tea, okay, in the morning or in a day, whole day you are going to take a tea. How this tea is prepared? Just take a tea powder, pour it in a water, okay, then keep it as a boil it and keep it aside for few minutes. Keep for boiling for few minutes. Okay. After few minutes, you are getting the hot extract and the residue at the bottom. So just you are going to filter this one. After filtration, you are getting a decoction. Okay. So this is the one extraction is there. In the next lecture, we see the maceration, percolation, and the digestion. Okay. Thank you.